What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the 210 show. We're glad to have you. And boys, the band's back together again. I'm looking forward to this one. So let's do some introductions.
All right. This is Angry Joey.
This is the hater with facts.
I'm Mr. Raider.
Hey, yo, bam! Tony's in the house.
About fucking time, man.
I know. Shit, we about to put out a bolo on you.
Yeah, man. It's good to see you,
Missed you, buddy. Missed you.
It's good to see you. You're alive, brother. Or
Yeah.
good to
Yeah,
hear that
man,
you're
I'm
alive.
sorry, guys. Like you guys know, but I don't know if the audience knows. I've just been busy with work and personal shit, so I'm just not around a lot, man. And I got a couple more trips, and then hopefully by the end of the summer, though, I'm done.
Well, it's good to have you anyway. So, absolutely.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So, boys, I think we want to talk about the Spurs and then do open mic, pretty much whatever the hell else we want to talk about afterwards. So, who wants to lead us off with the Spurs?
Oh, I got it. Yes. So can we make a formal declaration right now, since we're approaching a year of the 210 show being in existence, and it just so happens that in our first year, our local team here is in the NBA Finals. So, with that said, can we officially declare that the 210 show is officially the podcast of the San Antonio Spurs? Can we do that?
Ooh,
Yeah.
bold statement there. Because I would imagine that there's probably some people that would actually disagree with that. Now, me personally, I'm for it. Because I'm
for
it. But I think that Tony might have some problems with it. Especially since the Spurs actually went in on OKC. But
Nope, I don't have a problem at all.
Hey.
all right,
Yeah, I'm a Piston fan, but I know when good omens are happening. You know what I mean? If it just so happens that we come into existence and then the following year, Wemby stays healthy and they're in the NBA Finals, I mean, it may be correlation. I don't know, but since
hater.
nobody can tell us any different, that's us.
You know what that sounds like?
What's up?
You know what that sounds like? A
Sponsorship?
side piece.
Whoa,
yeah.
whoa! Hold on, brother. Hold on. Oh, well, okay. Well, I guess we got to do
Hey,
it
they're
again.
in the West,
210
Rico.
show.
It's okay.
Yeah, the 210 show would like to formally declare that the term side piece is only referring to sports teams, not anything else.
That's right.
Gotta do it.
That's right. That's
Gotta
right.
do it.
That's right. Only sports teams.
That's right.
So what are you
So-
making this declaration there, hater?
I'm making this declaration because I believe, when it was it was myself, Mr. Raider, and yourself. I believe the two of us, me and you, Angry Joy, declared that we were going to predict that the Spurs would beat the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals, and it was Mr. Raider who thought the Thunder will pull it out in 7 games. But turns out it did not happen that way. The Spurs won in Game 6 and Game 7 to take the series 4-3, and the uncomfortable conversations that people wanted to have about the quote unquote greatness of SGA and the Oklahoma City Thunder are now thrown in the trash, and I am happy to do it and happy to dump it in the garbage truck where it belongs. This
Okay, so
now
let's talk about that just for a second there, hater.
Okay.
I'm actually hearing rumbles that OKC might actually be in trouble money wise, not from an organizational standpoint, but from a cap standpoint. Because
Yes.
they're paying out a lot of money for some of these cats.
Yeah, so I don't have the full story in front of me, but the issue that they could run into is I think they have two first round picks in this year's draft. The problem that they're going to have to run into is payroll wise is they wouldn't be able to sign all their draft picks this year if they retain everybody on the roster right now. So they're
Right.
going to have to make a decision, especially given the fact, with Jalen Williams, their number two teammate, I guess, on the team for the most part.
Sure.
He's coming up on a big contract coming into his extension. Chet Holmgren, who of course he's the lowercase goat of the entire series for the most
That's
part.
a very
At least-
lowercase goat. I think
Yeah.
he showed his ass in this
Yeah.
last series, man.
Yeah. So
Yes, he
he's
did.
about
Then
to-
again, he was going up against a mediocre player like Wemby. Come on.
right.
What
Yeah.
are you gonna do?
Well, he could have done better than that. but
Well,
his extension kicks in next year, which is around $45 million, if I'm not mistaken, and of course, SGA's contract kicks in as well. So between those three alone, and then with the draft picks that they have, which I know Wu Pig made mention about, some time ago that it was going to be an issue for the league, but now the contract issue might end up balancing some things out. So who knows? Who knows?
yeah, yeah. Okay, so
Well,
let's
can I just I'm going to touch on something you just said earlier. It was about Shane Gillis. So I know I picked him to win as 7.
Mhm.
My bad, but I don't think I was
Mm.
wrong in thinking that just because they were the champs. You got to beat the
Yeah,
champs. You
yeah,
got
yeah,
to beat the
yeah,
most
champs,
people
right?
yeah,
predicted
yeah,
So
him
yeah,
to
yeah,
win.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
but what I
disagree
want to
with you there,
say
Nick.
though is when I was watching that, man, I really started to turn. I don't want to say against Oklahoma, OKC, but just all the flopping that was going on. It
Man,
really,
Well,
I don't know.
okay,
It was
so here's the
irritating
really,
me.
thing, though. I don't mind the flopping. What I mind is the officiating that allowed it.
Yeah, that too, man.
It got really, really bad. The officiating was just non-existent. I
oh
mean, did you
yeah,
see
it
some of
was
the plays? Do you realize that Wemby had, like cuts and scratches all over his arms? He got the crap beat out of him. Especially when he played against the Timberwolves.
yes.
He was getting fouled almost every single play. And here they are, no, nothing is getting called or anything like that. And man, I just saw a double standard there, especially from the ref. They
Well,
just
I
were not calling fouls against the Spurs.
every time like Shea Butter would shoot, he would fall on the ground and get a foul
Yes.
call. I'm like, what is this? What's
Yeah.
going on here? You
Well, and
know,
not only that, but it's not TV worthy. I mean, who wants to watch a
yeah,
fucking soccer game? I'm just sorry.
yeah.
Nothing against soccer or anything like that, but isn't that what they're infamous for? Is to be able
Yes.
to take a fall? The guy didn't even he was like 5 feet away from him, and he acts like he just got murdered on the freaking court. It's bad. And that turns fans off. If you're not playing hard basketball, that just pisses people off. It really turns off a big fan base.
Yeah.
It really does, and also, I had to. I'm stealing this from Shannon Sharp, but he said I've caught fish that flop less than Shea Gilgeous Alexander. So,
I
I mean,
remember that.
yeah, that was spot on, man. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Love it. Love it.
yeah,
So, here's the thing, I can't really fault Shea for actually taking those falls. If they're going to allow you to actually get away with it, why not? I put this solely on the ref. And when you actually saw game 6 and 7, it was like Adam Silver actually came and talked to certain people, replaced the ref, and they actually let him play the game. And we saw how it played out.
you know what's funny? I think it was by around like game 5. I think it was. Like I saw a story talk about Adam Silver was talking about potentially AI replacing the refs.
AI, oh my God. That's
So, I mean, hey, look, I guess some refs got the message, huh? It was like, whoa, wait. Oh, AI might replace me? Dude, can't have that.
Dude, that's impossible. Balls and strikes
yeah.
is one thing, right? You can't. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
just
I was
silly.
going to say there has to be a human element to it. I agree with you all the way there, Tony.
Oh,
AI
yeah.
just is not the answer. But nevertheless, for it to even be mentioned or anything like that, that is funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Um,
anyway,
but
back to the other game that we have at hand here.
yes. So with that, after they took that victory, and then we had game 1 of the NBA Finals yesterday, and it was looking good for the Spurs, but
Yeah.
then the Knicks, ugh, the Knicks.
I gotta say, man, Brunson, he's a
Oh,
bad man.
dude. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, in the fourth quarter, but the experience of the Knicks came through. You saw that towards the end of the game, but the Spurs will learn
Yes.
from it, man. They'll learn from
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I'm
and I
not
think
concerned.
you can only take so much from a game 1 in a series like this.
Yeah.
Because it's both teams trying to fill each other out.
Mhm.
It sucks for the Spurs because now they lost home court advantage
For now.
for
For
now.
now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as it comes down to it, they're going to have to win one in New York.
Absolutely. Yeah. But
And they can
I
do
I
that.
would say, yeah, they already shown, like, the experience they already had going through the West shows that, like, they're capable of doing anything and everything as possible.
Yeah.
So,
I think they're still
top
the
will get in their
favorites.
butt. Yeah, they should be.
Actually, no, they're not. Odds-wise, the Knicks are now the favorites.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
Yes.
I wonder what kind of swing that was. Point
Yeah.
swing.
It was pretty big. I mean, I think that it was how the Spurs lost, because they even closed it down to 1 in the fourth quarter, and then the Knicks actually went on that 9-point run.
Yeah.
And closed the game out with a 10-point lead. I thought it was much closer than that, but if you look at the first quarter, they were beating them pretty handily, and then the Knicks they managed to hang in there and they pulled it out. I mean, and there was none of that egregious that was actually happening in with the OKC and the Timberwolves game. It seemed to be a pretty clean basketball game as far as I could tell.
Yeah, they let
Um,
them play.
I think that like you said, Raider, that it was a cleaner game, and I don't think that they were doing a hack and Shaq type thing on Wemby as much. I think that
No,
what,
you
what
can't do
I
that with
did
him.
I did have issue with was the fact that they didn't have Harper in there and they had Fox in there, who went cold in the last quarter. And Harper, he was lighting it
And
up.
Harper looked great. Yeah. For
Yeah,
a rookie starting
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
yeah.
No fear.
So that's what I had a problem with. Harper, he was killing it. Wemby, he, as many points as he had, I think he was only shooting like what, 30%, something like that.
His
30.
his shooting percentage, I think he was like, I'm looking it up here. Well, his effective shooting percentage was 33%, but
Yeah.
yeah, but mostly the free throw line kept him within striking distance, right? But I felt like he just took way too many outside shots for the most part, and he allowed Karl Anthony Towns to,
Yeah, man.
you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah, I
7'4". Put your back to the basket. What are you doing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and not only that, but this is a team you can't do that with because I mean, what are the Knicks going to do? They are 3-point shooters. I mean,
Yes.
that's their bread and butter. That's what they're going to go to every single time. I mean, you don't want to match them inch by inch. I mean, take it inside, get your score, and then guard the perimeter.
Right.
Yeah, especially given the fact that he was going to the free throw line so often. So it's
Yeah.
like, all right, cool, just keep it inside and just let let the rest do their work. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and Karl Anthony Towns, like, he's known for getting himself in early foul trouble anyway. So it's like that helps you later on down in the game, going into the fourth quarter and stuff like that if he's in foul trouble. So I think that was a concern, but to me, the other big concern for the Spurs is Devin Vassell. Like, his outside shooting has been absolutely horrendous. I was like, "Oh my god," he
Well,
was 1 for 6
Yeah.
last night.
so is
Game
Fox's.
6, yeah, Fox
Fox,
2.
yeah.
That's because
Yeah.
my bucket.
But Harper was killing.
Harper was what, 6 for 10 from the field. So, I mean, look, I have a lot more respect for Mitch Johnson now as a coach. He's really starting to come into his own, and clearly he has taken a lot of advice from Pop as well, and is definitely has shown he's known to make adjustments. And I'm not worried. I'm not concerned. But I will say this: Harrison Barnes, man, come on, dog. Like, dude, he got to get off the floor. He's serving no purpose out there. Like, I understand he's supposed to be a veteran leader and stuff like that. He does have championship experience, but at this point, he had a goose egg last night. I'm like, bro, no, you're not doing anything on defense, and you're not providing anything on offense. Like, what's your purpose? Like, you know what I mean? So, like, he played for 12 minutes last night. We need to cut that down to about 5 to 6. You know what I mean?
He had
Just-
12 last night. I didn't
No,
realize
yeah,
he was on the
he
floor that
played.
long.
He played for 12 minutes. Yeah.
man.
So,
And how
but
many
yeah.
how many did he put up? I mean, I know he
0.
he didn't shoot once.
No, he was 0 for 2, but he had 0 points though. 0 points, 1 foul, 1 assist, and 1 rebound or 2 rebounds. Sorry. Like, what are we supposed to do with that? Like,
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. I guess so I agree with you with Johnson, but I think the one biggest mistake that he actually did was that he stuck with Fox. And don't get me wrong, I love Fox, I really do. But that he actually benched a red hot Harper for Fox.
Well, he couldn't guard Brunson. That's why.
Right. Yeah, that's
Brunson was cooking him.
Well, who the hell can? I mean,
Well, for the first three
They should put
quarters,
Castle on him.
yeah, it was Castle and what was that other dude's name? Fox was on him for a little while, and then there's another dude.
It was
Another
Harper, Castle,
yeah.
and Carter Bryant, the young kid. He was on him for a little while, and so he's gonna have to be systematic with his rotations and stuff like that, and that's understandable.
Absolutely.
But foul wise, De'Aaron Fox had 5 fouls yesterday, so that doesn't help. And that's the other thing too with Harper too. You don't want him to get in early foul trouble if he's guarding Brunson like that, And even though can I also say this too?
So
All them damn Knicks fans in that damn arena, man.
They
Lord,
kept
have
showing him on
mercy.
TV too, man.
oh my God,
Get him off of there.
that's just that's terrible. And to be honest, I was confused at first because when the telecast first happened and everybody had those multicolored shirts, even though the orange is part of the the colors of the Spurs logo and stuff, but it was confusing me because at first I was like, wait a minute, I know good and damn well all those people are not Knicks people. I know that can't be right. And it was like, okay. And then I looked at the other colors. I was like, all right, cool. But then, I think it was like in the third quarter, they was crying out, "Let's go Knicks" and all that type of stuff. I'm like, what the, bro? No, hey, Spurs fans, come on, man. Y'all can't be selling y'all tickets like that, bro.
all right, let me balance this. Let me balance this out. Let me be fair. What about those two broads that were sitting on that side? One was in like the maroon purple dress or whatever. She's on the left side of the court.
Are you talking about
looking at it?
girls that were actually also in OKC?
Yeah, and they were like one had like a neon blue shirt, and the other was. I was like, okay, I guarantee you, she's effing one of those YNs on that team for sure.
Okay, and then the other one was the blonde girl. They were making all kinds of memes about those two, because they're sitting right behind the right behind.
Oh, they were there again?
Team.
Yeah, man, just crazy.
Oh my God.
Dude.
Yeah, yeah, they got a modeling agency chasing them down right now as we speak. So yeah,
great.
All right, sorry, hater. I just had to balance it out a little bit because there was some ridiculousness on that side too.
All right,
that's fine.
Bottom line, that's guys. Fine. I mean, how do you see this series playing out? Okay, Spurs took a kick to the nuts. At home, that sucks. Now I will say this: I'm not terribly worried yet, but if they drop the next one, I think they're in full swing panic mode.
I mean, they got to win tomorrow night, and I think they will.
Yes,
I think they will.
Yeah, I
too.
agree. Yeah, I think they'll bounce back. They'll lick their wounds. And to be honest with you, now Jalen Brunson, he's a tough guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But but the injuries
knee,
that his between his knee and his ankle, that joint gonna swell up pretty bad at this point.
Yeah, we don't want to see that. I want to see them beat them at full strength.
100%, yes. But all I'm saying that to say is between Castle, Harper, Fox, and Bryant, between those four, they need to be focused on giving him absolute hell every time he has the ball, even without the ball. Just give him hell, make sure he keeps moving, and don't let him off the hook on defense either. Attack him, keep moving him around, and keep putting stress on that right leg of his. And you'll wear him down, and you'll wear the rest of them down. So
it's the Steph Curry concept, right? Remember what Cleveland was doing to Steph Curry, and what else? Who else did play? Boston was doing that to Steph Curry too with Brown and them. But
yes,
I think Wemby's not going to have back-to-back
bad games.
Yeah, and I mean I hate saying bad game because the dude affected the game a lot because you see they weren't shooting down by the basket when he was there. Like they weren't doing it.
Dude, no.
So and he had 25 points, and four blocks. Remember he blocked that dude beyond half court. You see that one? So he's impacting the game. So I don't like saying he had a bad game. I think
he just tried to facilitate too much.
Yeah,
and then he would drive and turn the ball over, or he would shoot, and he just had a bad shooting night. So let somebody else run the offense. It was weird.
Or do the Karl Malone, play at the key. Play at the key. You're over there. I know you can shoot that 3-point shot, no problem. But At the same time, though, man, if your shot's not going down from that distance, bro, you're 7-4. Play from the key or get down there low in the paint because he can't Shaq it, right? He's not built like Shaq.
No.
No, I
But
agree. And here's the funny thing about the Spurs, and I actually heard it said best, was that their youth is evident in their inconsistency.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
especially that last 3 minutes.
I mean,
Absolutely.
so they go up so like in the OKC series, they had an amazing game where they went to double overtime. They showed true grit, and then they got their ass whipped in in game 2. And it was just up and down, up and down, up and down. And everybody was like, what the hell kind of Spurs are we going to get for game 6 and 7?
Right.
Nobody knew, so this is where the youth and inexperience is coming to the front. There is no, consistency. And that's and I think that was on full display last night. With that, they couldn't get a consistent play time and time again. They were up one time, and then they were down, and then they were up, and then they were down at the worst possible time.
One other point, they had obviously a tough series against OKC, who a lot of people considered that was basically the finals. And the Spurs managed their time throughout the year pretty well, but they had to play a shit ton of minutes in those 7 games and then turn around real quick and then have game 1 in the Knicks. I thought the Knicks would come out a little bit flat because they had so much time to rest, but I didn't think about that from the Spurs. They're probably tired, man. So.
Well, that's one of the things that we talked about, Tony, was on the last pod that we had is it rust versus rest, and
yeah,
but here's the difference though. How do I say, if the rust, I think the rust actually is more evident with young, inexperienced players than it is the other way around. And that's my opinion. There's no scientific ruler that actually proves that or anything like
Right.
that. But
Not in the NFL because you can get your ass whooped if you wait too long.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm still sticking to my Spurs in 6.
Wow.
Okay.
But if the Spurs lose the next one, that might change.
What's that?
Well,
Spurs in 5.
You still thinking Spurs in 5?
Spurs in 5?
Spurs in 5.
Ooh. Okay.
Wow.
That's impressive too.
Wow.
Yep.
I've been consistent. I've been consistent the whole time. I'm sticking with Spurs in 7. As much as I would love your prediction to happen, Angry Joey, because that would mean that the Spurs would have broken the hearts of all of New York City, and the Spurs actually win in Madison Square Garden. I would love that, but I feel like this is going to be one of those, one of those back and forth knockdown dragouts that's going to go to 7 games, and they're going to bring it back to San Antonio, and they're going to close them out. In supreme fashion.
I got a question for you though. Where's this hate for New York come from? Like, give me the backstory on this.
It's the entitlement, man. It's part of. It goes back to my Kiss My Grits from way back. It goes along a while ago, but it irks my nerves about how many people feel like that the New York Knicks is somehow entitled to getting a championship for their sports team.
Well,
It doesn't make any sense.
It's New York,
right?
dude.
Yeah,
that's where everything is patient. Come on,
it's like I said. Yeah, it's like I said before. They ride the coattails of the Yankees because they've been the most successful sports team in the city, and they feel like every other sports team in that town deserves the same thing. No, that's not how it works. First of all, the Yankees. I mean, most of their championships came before segregation. So, I mean, you could really put an asterisk on a lot of those, but we can't do that. But as far as the Knicks, they haven't won a championship since 79, 74, somewhere around there. There's been a whole lot. Yeah, a whole lot has happened since then. But now all of a sudden, like, oh my God, orange and blue skies. Get the out of here. Your expensive ass tickets and everything else. Like, I just can't. I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Speaking of tickets, do you realize that the cheapest ticket to a Spurs game right now is like $1,200?
Well, in comparison to the nosebleeds in Madison Square Garden, that's cheap.
Oh, yeah.
There's about $4,800 or something like that for the nosebleeds, dog.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's absolutely out of control, dude.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's totally stupid.
Okay,
And
so
that,
it's funny because I've actually been to one finals.
Wow.
Yeah, I've actually been to a finals game, and it was game 2 when the Spurs played the Pistons. And funny, that was a pretty crazy series because that one went 7.
it did.
And the Spurs, it was weird, because the Spurs, they absolutely annihilated them in game 1 and 2, and then they come back to Detroit, and the Detroit, they return the favor in spades,
Yes.
and that's when the series really happened.
Mhm.
I mean, it was one of the most fantastic, things I've ever seen since, in all of basketball. But yeah, I remember game 2. I was up in the nosebleed sections, and by the way, back then, it was like $650 per ticket.
Wow.
Let that sink in for a
Wow.
little bit, but yeah.
Man.
And that was in a finals game, I mean, and it was at the AT&T Center and all that stuff, but it was when Bruce Bowen actually went off for 6 3-pointers, and the Spurs just destroyed him. But so anything can happen is my point. I how the hell is anybody going to know how this is going to happen? And just with the volatility that the Spurs are showing with their youth and inexperience, we'll see which Spurs team actually shows up, because they could actually just absolutely shit the bed, or they could turn right around and just absolutely dominate the Knicks in this game too, which is going to change a lot of minds, and it's going to swing the favoritism towards the Spurs. What do you
Yeah.
want to bet? Because right now, I can tell you right now, the Spurs for game 2, they're 5.5-point favorites.
Mm.
So
5.5. Damn, that's the devil's number. Jeez. Okay.
yeah. So
All right.
Well,
anyway,
I already said Spurs in 5, so you know where I stand.
5, man. I
5,
hope
that's
you're right, bro.
that's
I hope you're
nuts.
right, because either way, they're going to be finishing in New York, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Okay. No. Game 5 will be back in San Antonio, actually.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
back in September. I actually never
Yeah.
remember how they restructure all this shit.
I
But
think
anyway.
it goes like 2-2 and then
2,
1
1,
for
1,
1.
1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you, Tony? What do you think?
I mean, you guys basically covered everything. I think the Spurs will win. Let's just say in 6.
Nice.
All right. All right.
That would put them in New York, you said?
Yep, it would.
I mean, I hope it doesn't happen that way, but if it does, it does. I think 6 about right though. I could see New York taking one at home.
Yeah.
Another one.
Yep. Yeah. So with that said, one quick thing, if I may. Not to throw another knife in the back of Dallas here, but if you're the Mavericks, man, how are you feeling today? Knowing that at one point you had Jalen Brunson and Luka on the same team, bro.
Oh man.
It's like
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. Like, oh, Jalen Brunson's not good enough to be on our team. Let's just give him to the Knicks, and now he's to a final. Like,
Well, thank you, Dallas.
yeah. Yeah, the gift that keeps on giving, man. That's crazy, but
Yeah, let's move them
Well-
both the fuck out of our conference or division. I mean, my gosh.
I got
Yeah.
a question for you though. So let's say if Brunson was able to pull this off, right, and get a chip, would that make him the greatest Nick ever?
No,
Yes.
but he would be top 5
Agree.
what?
automatically. He would not. Patrick Ewing would still probably, in my opinion, be the
That's
best.
the first thing that came to mind. Tony, was Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, but he couldn't get it done. I love him.
Yeah, but he
Wow.
had to play. He had to play Jordan and then
That's true.
Olajuwon and shit. You know what I mean? Like
That's true.
It
That's
was
true.
different, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
And it's a different game.
Yeah.
Fair points. Fair points.
But you already know. But see, here's the problem. The city of New York, though, they'll prop that man up. Like, Patrick Ewing will be
Oh.
an afterthought. Like
Oh, dude, he'll never. He'll be the king of New York, man. He won't anywhere he goes.
man.
You don't have to pay for shit.
nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Free meals for life.
Yeah, him, his
yeah, dude.
family, his kin, everybody. Like, oh my god, they'll name sandwiches after him. They'll have all types of stuff. It's gonna go crazy, bro. Oh, can't have it.
I'll
Yeah,
tell
that
you
might
what. Okay, so worst case scenario, the Spurs lose this thing. I'd say that they have a pretty decent future.
Of course. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think they're
Yeah.
going to be a problem for the next 15 years.
I won't go that far, but
10
the
years.
sure. But of course they'll go as far as Wemby goes. But just one more thing though. The one thing that I need Wemby to work on is go on a flight, pay a visit to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Yeah.
and learn the skyhook. If
Well,
he, I'm not playing. If
Oh,
he
dude.
incorporated the
knows how to
skyhook,
do it.
bro,
Oh, that's a good point.
it's over. It'll be a wrap, bro.
Well,
Like,
having said that too, he's fading away. When you see him take
yes.
some of those jumpers, I'm like, why are you fading away, bro? You're 7'4".
Come on
Just
now.
Jump straight up, you know?
Come on now.
I'm like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? So I think he should
It
reach
looks
out to
cool,
Hakeem
man.
Olajuwon to learn some footwork drills. That's what I think.
He did. That's the thing. This summer, this past summer, he learned from Stephon Marbury.
Really?
Yep, Stephon Marbury, Kevin Garnett, and Hakeem.
Huh.
So yeah, so I guess it was in between that he was visiting monks and things like that. So he did all of that in one summer. So I'm like, hey, just to get the trifecta down, go ahead and go see Kareem and get that sky hook in you.
Might as
You get
well.
that, it's over. It's absolutely over.
Yep.
Who the hell would
uncomfortable
it
shot.
ever be? I mean, on this planet, unless you're Superman, you're not blocking that shot.
Nope.
Unless you have a 20-foot vertical.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, first of all, you got to be at least equal height first. You got to at least get that and have a 20-foot, 20-foot vertical.
Yeah, and and 8-foot long arms. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, you'll have to be the next alien, It's
Yeah.
like
yeah.
Absolutely. But,
Yeah.
the Spurs lucked into that Wemby pick. So,
Yep.
wink,
Could
wink,
have been a
right?
piston.
Wink,
Yep.
wink. Yeah, but it's
Yep.
the same way as they did with Harper and everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And that was the other breaking news that came out in the NBA a couple weeks ago. They approved the anti-tanking rules. It's
Oh,
official.
really?
Yes. Yes.
So for the audience, explain that.
Yeah. So the I'm pulling it up right now. But so basically the proposal was the bottom 3 teams no longer are guaranteed to have the most odds to the lottery. So basically it basically introduces relegation to an American sports franchise or American sports league for the most part. So the bottom 3 teams that have the worst records will only receive 2 lottery balls each. And then if you're 4 through 10, you get 3 lottery balls. And 11 through 16, so that's the other caveat to this, is that now the lottery has expanded from 14 teams to 16 teams. So that includes the play-in teams as well. They also have a chance to get 2 lottery balls and 1 lottery ball if you are the 7th or 8th seed in a play-in.
Okay, so break it down. What does that change? As far as who actually had how many lottery balls in the first, second, third, that kind of stuff. Up until this stage.
So essentially, in the old system, the spots 1 through 5, if I'm not mistaken, all had 14.5% chance of actually winning the lottery. But now, you really putting me on the spot here, Joey.
Sorry about that, dude.
No, because they're breaking down the number of balls, but I can't remember as far as percentages. I think it drops down to 3% each. So going from 14% to 3%, I could be off on that, but
Hey, it's something, right? That's good.
yeah,
I like it.
So
I mean,
yes.
start somewhere.
Yes. So not only that, so they take that part and they made the revisions there. Also, if you cannot have the number 1 pick in back-to-back years. That's no longer allowed.
Ooh.
And
so what happens?
That's
if that
interesting,
happens?
dude.
So what happens if, like in this example, if the Spurs actually had the lottery this year and they get it, or they come in last place next year? What happens? What do? They shift it
They
over
go to 2 or something? Yeah.
2?
So okay, so this is how it breaks down. So you can't have back-to-back number 1s, and you can't have 3 top 5 picks consecutively. So now, how's that adjusted? The article doesn't go into all that, but my assumption would be, so in this case, the Wizards won the number 1 overall pick this year, right? So now, if they number one, if they end up finishing last again, or they finish with the worst record again with having the number 1 overall pick, they'll only get 2 lottery balls. If they still somehow manage to get back to back, I mean that'd be crazy town. That'd be crazy town. But if they did, yeah, if they right. So if they had the number 1 overall pick, they lose again, they have the worst record, they get 2 lottery balls, and they still win the lottery again, they have the number 1 pick. If that happens, I would assume that they will swap with the next team that comes closest, right? So in this case, let's just throw it out there, Indiana. We'll just throw them in there. So if Indiana finishes as number 2 in the lottery, but Washington has number 1, but they had it last year, so I would assume they'll give it to them and they'll just swap out. That would be my guess. But like I said, the article doesn't go too much into detail as far as the scenarios go and that type of thing. But the fact that they were actually willing to do this, I applaud them. Finally, they finally addressed it properly. Now the only thing they need to do now is do a reverse Marvin Sapp and open up them doors so we can see the actual lottery happen in real time. That's all they got to do now. You do that, I, as an NBA fan, I'll be happy for life. I won't say no more. I won't complain no more.
Good take there, buddy.
But yeah, so we're finally getting some progress here. No more tanking. And
cool.
so I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to get some NFL trades out of the way.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
There's been 1 or 2, haven't there?
Yes, yes.
Do you want to start off with the AJ Brown trade?
Yeah, why not? So
AJ
of course,
who?
I was gonna say
I'm
this
just
already
kidding.
been broken. Well, live from Diana Rossini's news desk. June 1st came and went, and AJ Brown was officially sent to the New England Patriots. I believe the compensation was a 2028 first-round pick.
And I think that this year's 5th round pick or something like that.
Yes, that's right. And a 5th round,
yeah.
a 27 5th and a 28 first. So the Patriots get their number one receiver. The Philadelphia Eagles finally get some peace, at least for now. And Mike Vrabel gets his player back. So
yeah. Little bit of love between those two.
Can I suggest something?
I mean, yes.
Oh, I think they wouldn't have made this trade if Mekhi Lemon wasn't a stud. I think he's going to be really good for them, man. I really do.
Well, they probably agreed to it before the draft, so they didn't even know they were going to have him, which is crazy. But
I think so too. Yeah,
but we don't know what would have happened if they didn't get him, right? So I don't know.
Well, not only that, but they actually made it on June 1st for the 2nd or something like that, and it was to basically also save a whole bunch of money on cap space.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it had to be after. It had to be after June 1st, or June 1st.
Yeah, to make the money work.
Yeah.
Yes.
What I'm saying is, though, I think they probably saw enough tape and saw him in some of those voluntary camps that were like, yeah, this dude can do it. So probably gave them the extra assurance they needed to trade him. To trade AJ
Well,
Brown.
he's gonna get a chance now too, right? It's just him and Devontae Smith, really. So
Yeah.
we'll find out.
Yep.
Mr. Ray.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, like I partially agree with you, but the thing is, to make all that work, because remember, they had to make a trade with Dallas to jump ahead of Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh wanted him, and he was on the phone with Pittsburgh, and he thought that's where he was. He thought that was where he was going, and it turned out like no, Philly just traded up to get you, so now you're not going to Pittsburgh, you're going to Philly. So
and you wonder, why Pittsburgh actually did what they did, free agency by signing all these has-beens.
Well, I wouldn't call Michael Pittman a has-been.
Well, not Michael Pittman, but Juju Smith-Schuster.
No, he's with the Giants.
Oh, that's right. He went with the Giants.
Yeah, he went to the Giants. Yeah. Well, that's another story within itself. But a lot of things had to happen in order for them to end up having Mekhi. But I'll say this though, this doesn't take Jalen Hurts off the hook. I'm really surprised that the conversation has been strictly about what AJ Brown is going to do in New England, but no one is talking about how Jalen Hurts has yet to cross the 4,000 passing yard threshold the entire time he's been the starter in Philly.
Stop that. It's not fair. Saquon Barkley, come on. Come on,
Oh,
that
no.
year when Saquon Barkley was going crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not
Yep.
fair. He still had
Uh,
like 3,500 yards.
Okay, but he's also been the starter in Philly even before Saquon got there. My whole
True.
point,
True.
yeah, my whole point is if you have a premier wide receiver like AJ Brown on your team and you're producing what you were producing, somehow am I supposed to believe that now he goes away and now you're going to become this prolific passer? Come on, man! Like that doesn't pass the Smith test to me. It just doesn't. So you're making $55 million. You were something to me. We need to start asking when was the statute of limitations before you start, or how many years removed from being a Super Bowl champion before you actually get the appropriate criticism. That's all I want to know, because that's been 3 years now. Okay, you did it. Congratulations. That moment in time has come and gone. But you over here putting up goose eggs in second half of games where you can't complete a pass. But somehow, some way, you're supposed to be now the air is clear and AJ Brown is gone. So now you can do whatever you can do whatever you want. Like,
Cold-blooded,
come on,
man.
man. Come on, man.
Cold-blooded.
Hey,
Cold-blooded.
I'm just calling. I'm just calling like I see it, brother. I don't give nobody no breaks. Right? If you that dude, be that dude. But I'm just saying you've had offensive lines that have been top notch. Your wide receiver core has been great. You got a 2,000-yard rusher behind you. What is the problem?
Yeah, I think you make a fair point. I think that it's time to time to show everybody what's up. You know,
Exactly. And remember the Jalen Hurts Secret Service will come at you if you dare put him like 5 and below as far as top quarterbacks in the league. Like, oh, you're being a hater. Like, what? I was like, come on, man. Just saying. I'm just saying. We don't blame Nick Sirianni. We don't blame all the offensive coordinators. We blamed AJ Brown. All that's out of there, dude. The only person left is Jalen himself.
Mm, mm,
I am
Sorry.
waiting for a
mm.
report there, Raider.
I really want to, but the man's making some good points. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard. The only thing I would say is that let me ask you a question: who do you think's the better quarterback, Jalen Hurts or Russell Wilson?
Oh, come on. You can't even
You mean
compare
just
in their
asking.
primes?
I mean,
Huh?
right now, Russell Wilson
their-
is
You mean in their
going to be
primes?
freaking
Sure. Say
sports
first.
job.
Let's say first 5 years, right? So Jalen Hurts been in what league 5 years, right?
He is.
Or is
Uh,
it his sixth year?
Okay, so now
He's-
you're playing on my emotions.
No,
Hold
I didn't even get a
stuff
chance
like
to finish, so I'm not supposed to trigger you, bruh. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just asking first, who is take the first 4 years of their career, who is the better quarterback,
I'd
Russell
have to look
Wilson
at
or
but what
Jalen
I was
Hurts?
thinking is that Russell Wilson was also a 10-time Pro Bowler. I'm pretty sure he was. He was a 10-time
It's
Pro Bowler.
kind of interesting because they're kind of similar. They didn't throw a lot, but they made a lot of plays with
Had
their
good
legs.
had
They
good
had good
defenses.
teams. Yeah, they had good teams, so they were able to not do a lot at times. But they
And they
both
had
won
good back.
Super Bowls. So, I mean,
You know,
I
one
don't
had
know, man.
Marshawn Lynch, and the other one had Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Just saying. So
Yeah.
who do you think is the better quarterback? Who would you take, Jalen Hurts or Russell Wilson?
In their prime?
honestly, it's hands down Russell Wilson.
You
Because
out
at
your
least
mind.
because at least in the 5 years that he was in Seattle, he could run an offense. All I
You're
know
out of
is
your mind.
all I know is he never went second half of games without a completion. That never happened. And to be honest, he did more in his first 5 years with a far less talented wide receiver core than Hurts ever had. Because think about it. He had, oh my God, besides Marshawn Lynch, can you name any wide receiver that Russell Wilson had?
Tyler
Was it
Lockett.
like Doug Baldwin? It was like,
Tyler Lockett was good for
Jesus.
a good while. So
Tyler Lockett. Right. But okay, so you got Tyler Lockett and Doug Baldwin, right? Those two in comparison to Devontae Smith and AJ Brown.
well, he didn't have AJ Brown his whole career though. I mean, he had the last two.
Two.
The last three. Well, he was
That's
no. He
very
was there for 4 years. He was there for 4 years.
Was
So,
long.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Oh.
was there for 4 years. So, all I'm saying is, and even for I can't remember who was yeah, I can't remember who was there before that. But all I'm saying is the wide receiver core of the Seattle Seahawks back then, in comparison to what the Eagles have or had, there's no comparison.
That's a good point there, Hater. Yeah.
Yeah. And then defensively, right? Okay, I would say it's comparable, right? Now, secondary wise, no doubt is Seattle. But if you're talking about front seven, man, I don't know, dude. I would say the Eagles defense was top notch, far
Yeah,
superior,
but
to be honest.
that the Legion of Boom, they were ridiculous
Right.
for like
Yeah,
3
yeah,
years
yeah.
there.
They're like, yeah, they like that. You know what I'm saying? But
Oh, don't remind me there, Tony. I mean, I saw it on.
Hey, they're in my fucking division, dude. So
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
trust me, I hated them more than anybody. But go ahead, Angry Joe.
No, I was just gonna say I saw it on full display. When the Broncos, in their
Oh,
backed out Super Bowl appearance against them, they were supposed to be this amazing juggernaut offense. Well, that amounted to two things: Jack and shit. I
yeah, it
mean,
was
they
pretty bad.
destroyed it.
I
Yeah.
forgot
I
about
remember
that
that.
one.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
that was
I
painful,
guess
man.
I guess my point was I was saying that his career is still early. The dude hasn't been in the league for give him at least 10 years before you start saying that he's a bum or a bust or
I don't think
mediocre.
anybody's calling him a
Nobody's calling him
bum.
a bum. No.
I know you're not calling him a bum. I'm just saying before we even start heading in that direction of like mediocrity, I think he's doing what he's being asked to do. But this year is definitely going to be telling, right? If he
Well,
can't get it done this year, you know, the conversation could legitimately be had. But just it's still early in my opinion.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Which should transition to the Mendoza. I think if you want to ask that question,
Oh boy. This
Okay,
is all I
so
enjoy.
one of the questions that I was
barbecue
actually
chicken.
talking to Hater about was what is the floor and the ceiling for Mendoza? Okay, so this is a very, very difficult one to address. Because I mean, how many times have we actually seen these number one overall quarterbacks either become a Peyton Manning or let me see, what was his name? Trubisky.
Ugh.
Okay, so in my opinion, I think he's probably somewhere in between. Probably a little bit more towards the Peyton side, because of his athleticism and his, he just has a little bit more pedigree. But at the same time, it just kind of begs the question, I mean, how is this guy going to pan out? Is he going to be able to translate into the NFL? Is he
He's
going to be able? I think he's a work in progress at this point.
Of course.
All quarterbacks are, but I just kind of wanted to get your guys' take on there before I poo-poo all over your new quarterback there, Raider.
I'm
Do you
gonna
want
reserve
first,
my
Raider?
comments and let the other guys go first, and then I'll do cleanup because I'm about to barbecue chicken your ass.
Okay,
I don't have a lot
I'm
to.
looking forward
I
to it.
don't.
I'm
I don't
looking
have a
forward
lot
to
to say.
I can already hear that you're already you got your freaking lips already suction cupped to his ass.
Oh
So
wow. Oh wow,
Your ass
bro.
up, man.
Damn.
It's gross.
I mean, to be fair, I would too. But what are you gonna do? He's your quarterback now. It's not gonna be Kirk Cousins.
Wow.
So
Whatever, jeez. Damn, man. What did he do to you? Like, I don't understand. Oh my god.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
man. I couldn't help myself.
So
He's an angry elf.
Anyway, so
Dude,
the
all right.
question is what is the floor? What is the floor and the ceiling for Mendoza? I mean,
I don't
and
know.
some of these other quarterbacks for that matter. I mean, this year's class is pretty thin. When it comes to quarterbacks, or big time talent. I personally think that Mendoza's going to be good. I really do. Is he going to be all pro? Is he going to be? Is he going to be a gold jacket? I don't know. I guess that's why they play the game. But I just wanted to hear you guys' take.
Dude, so I think it's hard. Obviously, right? We're just speculating. It's almost impossible to know. I will say this. One thing working against him is he doesn't have a lot of college experience. Typically, that's not good for high first round quarterbacks. However, he's extremely accurate, and I probably have said it on the pod a bunch of times, but that's probably the thing I think is most important for quarterback talent and prospects. He's very accurate. So like the Mitch Trubisky, he's not even close. And now he does have only a little bit of experience like Trubisky when he came out, but he's way more accurate. Secondly, his talent or his attitude, like he just has it. It just seems like he's awesome dude. I think he'll work hard. I don't think it'll go to his head. I just think he has the right mindset, and that's important. So you put those two things together. I like that. Now he's on the Raiders. That's not good, historically speaking, right? And his wide receiver. So I wouldn't expect much early because his wide receiver core is doo-doo. It's one of the worst in the league, and that sucks when you have a young guy who you want to groom and help out. So hopefully they fix that in the coming years. But yeah, I'm rooting for the guy though. I think I love his demeanor, and we'll see. But he is super accurate. So that's the one thing I'm going to hang on and say maybe he can do it. It's easier to play quarterback nowadays too than it used to be when like Manning was coming up and shit. Even because Manning's rookie year was not great, right? We all knew he was
No, it
going
was
to be
not.
amazing, but it
was
wasn't
awful.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was terrible.
Oh, we've
I mean,
seen
that's
that.
what-
You know,
that's
I
all.
mean, the same was very, very true. Hell, even one of the legends was John Elway. I mean, go back and look at his stats. I mean, they are cringeworthy. In
Well, it
year
was
one.
really hard to play quarterback at a young age back then, though. I
Yeah.
will say,
Yeah.
so that was kind of common then. Nowadays, you're expected a little bit more, I think, but I don't know.
No, that's a good
That's
point.
all I got on that. But thanks for letting me get that all out.
Oh, please expound. I mean, dude. I mean, if you have anything
I
more
want to
to
hear what
share.
Hater has to say.
Oh boy. So, I look. I'm number one. It's based on what level of expectation you're going to apply on this young man, right?
Mhm.
He didn't come in with a lot of hype because the draft class. Let's be honest, the quarterback draft class was not that great. He was the only one to be considered, right? Everybody was giving, everybody's still giving crap to the Rams for drafting Ty Simpson, which still makes no damn sense. So with that as a backdrop, I think a general expectation would be, and like you said, the wide receiver core is not that great. So he's not coming into a situation where he should be balling out immediately, right? So I think the best that you could hope for, and I'm looking through the last number one overall
Okay.
picks that have come through the league in the last 10 years, and I would say maybe the closest comparison, maybe Bryce Young. Maybe, but even Bryce Young's pedigree was a lot different, right? And like you
Yeah.
said, like you said, Tony, the number of reps, number of years of experience being under center in college, he doesn't have that, but his skill set does give you some hope, right? And if you're a Raider fan, that's the best you can hope for. You want some hope, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You haven't had it in a while, you know what I'm saying? So you want some hope. So if you're looking at Cam Ward, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, those are the last 10 number one overall picks at quarterback. If you're looking at any of those and you're comparing that to Mendoza, the closest I can think of, at least of those, would be either Jared Goff or Bryce Young. Now, the only difference I think that works in his favor is that he has a Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator he gets to learn from. So at least that says that he's going into a system that at least proven to win championships. So now all he has to do is be a student, be a sponge, allow Kirk Cousins to be a meat shield because the offensive line still needs to get together. And so the first year, let him take his lumps. If he has to go in like midseason or something like that, cool, that's fine. But to me, we won't see the true fruits of this labor until at least year 3. Because at that point, the Raiders should at least have an offensive line that's pretty decent and a wide receiver core that's comparable and young, and that's growing up
Let
with
me
them.
ask you this, Hater. When do you Mendoza actually taking over the reins over Kirk Cousins?
Well,
Week 1.
I
Week 1? You
I
think
don't
so?
Week
I
8.
I don't
I think
I
Cousins
don't
is
think
washed.
I think he's washed too, but I think they really want to slow roll this as much as they possibly can. And I'm looking right now to see where their bye week is. I think um, it's like what looks like week
14.
9. Oh, week 4. Ooh, week 14.
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't have a
Ouch.
bye until like week 14.
Oh, Jesus.
Ouch.
Okay.
Oh, man.
That's brutal.
Okay. I'm looking through this. I'm looking through the schedule right now. If I were to put him in, Lord, it wouldn't be till after Thanksgiving when they play the Browns. That would be that would be out when I insert him into the lineup. That would
That
be at that
might
point.
actually be the right point in time. I mean, a depleted defense with Cleveland,
Yeah.
that would be about the right time
Yeah.
just to get his feet wet.
Yeah, it would be on the road, but I mean, hey,
I was going to
uh,
ask that. Oof, that's tough.
yeah,
Tough playing there no matter what. Yeah.
it is a tough environment, but hey, you know what? He's played in the Midwest for the last 2 years. So he should be used to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And look at the schedule here. That after Thanksgiving week, they're at the Browns and they're at home. 3 straight games at home, the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Titans. So, hey man, welcome to the NFL, buddy. This
Yeah.
you're gonna have that moment at some point, you know? So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
I will say this, I mean, truth be told, I think, truthfully, that Mendoza is going to have a promising career. I really do. How promising that is, it's not going to be a Trubisky. I was just actually
Oh
offering
no.
that as
No, absolutely
I mean, because I mean, Trubisky, he was just he's dead. But anyway, I think that Mendoza, I think he's going to do well. I really do. As much as I hate to say it, but I think he's gonna be a problem for the league for a while, especially if they can actually shore up the wide receivers. Because right now the only true threat that they really have offensively is Genty and Bowers.
Yep.
All right, let me get in here, coach.
All right.
Joey, hold my
I'm
beer.
sitting I'm
Let's
sitting
hear
Hold on,
it.
back.
I'm gonna light this ass up before we get into Alamo Mint and kiss my grits. But let me just start. Let me just answer one of your other questions. I think week 8 makes the most sense to me to start him. I do not want to see him start week 1 only because I agree with Kubiak and Spytek that slow roll the stuff because you see what's happening to Andrew Luck. You see what's happening now to Joe Burrow, right? So that's what we want to avoid. Now, let me just, since I don't have any NFL metrics to talk about with Mendoza, I'm just going to talk about his college metrics and what does that lean towards as far as potential. So let's just talk about his most recent. Let's just talk about his career, right? For his career in college, again, he was at Cal in Indiana. All right, 68% completion percentage, 8,200 yards, 71 touchdown passes, 22 interceptions. Okay, that's really, really good for any NFL quarterback prospect. And the last ones that had this kind of numbers are Joe Burrow, Mac Jones, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, Caleb Williams, and Drake May over the last 10 years. So he's in the conversation with those guys from a college metric standpoint for a career. All right.
Well,
That's
that's
point
good.
number one. Point number one. Point number 2. This dude is also highly, highly accurate. If, for example, he only has 22 career interceptions, right? But he had 1,008 attempts. That's a 2.2% interception rate, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous. And this dude, like in 2025, he was like averaging, I think what you can check me on this, but I'm pretty sure it was like 9 yards per attempt, something like that, maybe a little over. And his passer rating was like 180 or like 100. Yeah, I think it was like 180, which led all leading major college football in both of these categories. So that's where he's at there. Okay. And so when you go to his touchdown production, he only trails. Lawrence had 90, Williams had 93, Stroud had 85, and Young had 80. And don't forget, in his last year in Indiana, he had a 41 touchdown final season. Indiana, and arguably led that team to go beat these. I think it was next to Michigan's run the year before, I would label this just as equally as tough. But I'll get a slight edge to Michigan's run. I hope you don't disagree with me on that, hater.
Nope, I do not.
All right. So in that game, was it the first game? He was getting his ass kicked, but he was still competing, and they wouldn't have won if it wasn't for him. All right. Before I bring this home, if you look at the overall college production where he ranks, I think he's number 6 after all those guys, right? So, and this is what we're asking for, because if you look at the history of the Raiders and how we've drafted, nothing really to brag about. You know, Jamarcus Russell, Geno Smith, oh my God, Aiden O'Connell. Like, we have not had a prospect like this since what Stabler played, which is a long freaking time ago. So all I'm saying is that if you take all those metrics compared to his peers, their college careers, all signs point to a very, very high ceiling. So where do I think he's going to be? I think he's going to be a far better, way better than Kirk Cousins. I think he's going to fall somewhere between Joe Burrow and Jordan Love, somewhere in the middle over there. That's what I think. And give me my beer back.
That's a fair assessment. I don't disagree.
That's a hell of a ceiling with Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Joe Burrow. Yeah, I mean, considering the fact that he has mediocre people to throw to, but
yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah.
Well,
only Jamar Chase.
He doesn't
right?
have the arm, quite the arm that Burrow has. What he needs though is stability in Vegas. And they can't be getting rid of coaches and damn coordinators every year, man. The guy needs stability, and then they got to build around them. Obviously, they need to upgrade the line. They need to upgrade his receiving core, and then we'll see.
So if you look at what Spytek has done, I was reading some. They already knew they were going to go after Mendoza. They already knew it.
Everybody did.
So
Everybody did.
They made all these decisions to basically help support Mendoza. Because, like, do you remember who's that dude? He's Kubiak's best friend, but he was with Mendoza over the summer working over, and I'm doing air quotes, drills. But he knows Kubiak's playbook. What's this guy's name?
I'm drawing a blank right now. I can't think of it.
I can't. But do you know what I'm talking about though? Because
I know. Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. Yes.
Yeah, so they brought him in. It basically was like, because there had to be they have to follow some rules or whatever before the draft, NFL draft or something. So he got with this guy who's a Kubiak disciple, and he's been learning the playbook since then. So they're doing everything the right way. And if he fails, damn. It ain't gonna be because we didn't try.
Tell you what, the AFC West is shipping up with cracks.
Yeah, dude, you have to have one in that division.
I mean, Mahomes, Knicks, Herbert, and now Mendoza.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
I mean,
wow.
I mean, that's a gauntlet right there. Any team outside the West that actually has to play that division, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, so gentlemen, we are coming up on an hour, so this is about the time we transition to Kiss My Grits or Alamo Minute. Do y'all have anything else before we do that, though?
Yes. There's one big nugget we still need to approach, and it is still in the trade of Myles Garrett from Cleveland to the Rams. We definitely have to talk about that. First of all, I want to get your guys' opinion as far as the compensation that was given. Now, I talked to a couple people who are Cleveland folks. One was very, very upset of the compensation. The other was actually okay with it. Now, the trade officially was Myles Garrett to the Rams for Jarrett Verse, a 2027 first-round pick, a 2028 second-round pick, and a 2029 third-round pick. That was the compensation. Now, my question to y'all is for a almost 30-year-old current NFL sack leader with 23.5 sacks on a team that could barely scratch up to 24 points a game, if they could, who is now going to a team that plays indoors for that type of compensation. Is that enough?
Okay, so rumor on the street now is that Aaron Donald is actually looking to get back in the game.
Lord have mercy.
So if that actually happens, then the gamble is complete.
Well,
wouldn't you agree?
Damn gamble, you're getting the best defense player in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, nobody comes close. I mean, that's just absolutely terrifying.
It would
So
be
Well,
if Garrett, or excuse me, if he comes back, if Aaron Donald comes back, Lord help the rest of the NFL. I mean, offensively.
sure.
but
But I
my
think your
question is
question
more
was,
it's more tiered towards the Browns. What the Browns
yeah.
got in return, was that
So
enough?
I would say it was enough because Verse is at least minimum a first round pick himself.
Yeah,
That dude is
yeah.
highly talented. You could have easily gotten 2 first round picks for that guy alone. So
That's where I was kind of going with this. Because I mean, if you're actually going to be building up this team that much, I mean, come on, you need to get better capital. But then
and they
again, of
did.
course, I don't know if that they were actually tracking that Aaron Donald was thinking about getting back from unretirement.
No. Well, but going back to Verse, he's a really good player, dude. Really good player.
Yeah.
I think Cleveland, you know, I think they got fair value for a 30-year-old defensive lineman, although one of the best. I think they got fair value, man.
I think they did good. I understand that, Cleveland fans are pissed because they're losing Myles Garrett, which is a big deal. But to have Jared Verse in that deal, who's only second-year player, he was a first-round pick, I'm
Yeah.
almost positive. And so they get a
Yes.
fifth-year option because a lot of this had to do with money probably, right?
Yes.
So they get a
100%,
fifth-year
yes.
option on Verse. They'll work on a deal 2 years from now, but, and then they got the picks too. So, I mean, it's as good. I don't know what more they would have wanted. It's as good as you could ask for, I think. I
Yeah.
don't think they're going to get Verse and 2 first, but they've accumulated a decent amount of picks, high quality picks. Second and third round picks aren't trash. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I like it, but obviously I'm not a Browns fan. They may just be upset because they're losing their best player.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
But
I
what a haul, though. What a
Yeah,
haul.
it is.
Yeah, I think it's a fair, good trade. It was fucking certainly a blockbuster, that's for sure.
Yes. It's definitely one we didn't expect. Like,
Yeah, that
we were
was
talking about
crazy,
June
man.
1st, we was like, all right, AJ Brown.
There was like
Wait,
one
whoa,
rumor on
what?
June 1st, like, hey, Miles Gallup may be available. It was like 10 minutes later, he's traded. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. So my opinion on this is I would have, if I was Jimmy Haslam, first of all, just a side note, I did not know that Jimmy Haslam was also part owner of the Milwaukee Bucks as well. So Milwaukee fans, prepare yourself because you might be a little bit disappointed with this Giannis trade. That's a side note. But I will say this. I feel like if this is something that is going to get pushed, you could have killed two birds with one stone. And what I mean by that is if you're going to do a full reset and rebuild, why not attach one of those quarterbacks to the deal? Not necessarily Deshaun Watson, of course. He's their problem. They can't do that. But Shador or Dylan Gabriel should have been attached in that deal. So at least that way you can lighten up the
Why
quarterback
would they
room
do
and there's
that
no more confusion.
when they drafted Jimmy
Yeah,
already?
yeah.
Because at least when in that part of the controversy between Shador and Dylan was Stefanski's pick. Shador was Andrew Berry's pick. With Stefanski gone, why in the world would you keep Gabriel on the roster?
What?
He's already proven that he's not that guy.
Dude, McVay was like, I don't want any of that trash. He's like, we just drafted the guy we wanted in the first round.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah, guy. No. If you want Myles Garrett, you
Oh,
gonna take one of these quarterbacks with you. Nah.
I get what
you're
you're
your
okay.
problem now?
I get what you're
Yeah.
saying. You're trying to offload the
All right.
problem.
No,
I
I
was
get it.
like,
I get you're looking from the
100%.
other side. Okay.
Absolutely. 100%. So that way, okay, the contract that I already signed Myles Garrett to, that now goes to you. Oh, and good luck now trying to sign Puka. I don't know how much money he gonna get now. I don't know. But at least I can alleviate my issue now because if the whole Deshaun Watson thing goes south in the first 4 weeks of the season, I don't have to worry about who I'm going to go to next. It will either be Shador or Dylan, but not I have to pick between the two of them. So I just would have done that and just to make my life a little bit easier, especially given the fact that I'm going to be, I've already reserved the fact or reserved to the fact that I'm in a rebuild now. Like it's
Maybe they
clear,
don't care because
it's
they're
obvious.
taking Dante Moore or Arch Manning or somebody next year.
But see, but that's the other part of it too. It's like, all right, and this whole experiment goes stupid. I have 227 firsts to work with to either move up or stay where I am, depending on how we finish or whatever. Okay, cool. But I don't want to bring another quarterback in here. You know what I mean? Now I got Dylan, I got Shador, now I got Dante or somebody else, and I might still have to deal with Deshaun Watson still because of his contract. So I I would at least try to alleviate that part of the problem at the same time of acknowledging the rebuild to everybody. But that's my whole beef about, good job, you're acknowledging that you stink. Good. And at least you're doing opposite of what the Steelers are doing, because at least you're acknowledging the fact that A, you need a quarterback and you're trying to find one. And you know that your team is not going to be competing anytime soon. So let's go ahead and just stockpile as many picks as possible. So I applaud them for that much. Like I said, there have been a little bit more icing on the cake than anything. But other than that, and good job for, good for Myles Garrett. He gets to finish his career, get a chance for a championship because, he's a sack leader in the NFL, and all that led to was 3 wins. So it's like
Yeah,
it is
right.
what it is, So good for him, but now he's the NFC's problem. Great.
Ugh,
You
another.
know,
d-
I kind of feel sorry for the Browns. Maybe they should hire Kevin Costner as their GM.
What? No, Andrew Berry's doing great, man. No, I'm saying he stopped piling picks like a mug, man. He can do whatever he wants. You know what I mean? Now the deal for Deshaun Watson, that wasn't his idea. So the fact that he's doing what he's doing now and being able to maneuver and make moves the way that he's doing, despite the fact you've got this $255 million albatross around your neck, hey man, he should be in contention for executive of the year every year because of the fact that of who his employer is.
Mm, yeah. Uh, yeah, I can't argue against that. I really can't.
Mm. But
Well, that was some good cooking, man. That was some good
yeah,
Southern good cooking.
yes.
Good stuff.
So let's go ahead and transition to Kiss My Grits and Alamo Minute. For our normal listeners, I know they know already what this is about, but for the new listeners, Alamo Minute is a time that they could do a shout out to something positive. It could be a person, place, business, or thing, whatever, something positive. Kiss My Grits is the complete opposite. So if you see anything that's asinine, you want to call it down to the carpet and put a spotlight on it, that's the time to do it. So without further ado, I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Hater.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a minute, and I've been cooking up this pot of grits for us for a good while now. We're gonna need Shea Gilgeous-Alexander to come on down
Oh,
and take a seat in the front of this table and take this whole pot of grits. And
Get
yeah, I don't know if anybody's seen this story because I haven't seen like big media talk about this, ESPN or nobody. I haven't heard nobody talk about this. But The Athletic came out with a story. It was late May of this year, and talking about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. He sent a cease and desist letter to Underdog Sports because they put a new game out there that depicted Shea Gilgeous-Alexander as an unethical basketball player. So what they did was they did a makeshift game of operation, and they had all the different ways that he tries to foul bait. So you got the head snap, the shoulder bump, the push off, the lean in, the rip through, something called the hook and cook. I never heard about that. I think that's more
the
of
fall
a
down on
James
your
Harden
ass.
type. Yeah, fall down on your butt, the don't reach, all the so all these different things, right? And so they were going to give this game out to based on the number of bets that were made on that day, and his lawyers decide to send a cease and desist letter to Underdog, telling them to stop using his name, image, and likeness. That's how they covered it up. It's like, you're using his name, image, and likeness without our permission. Please cease and desist. Come on, man. We know what the damn truth is. Your feelings are hurt because people are finally putting out there and at least trying to make money, try to make some good out of your antics on the basketball court. It's annoying. It's stupid, and it needs to be stopped. It's an absolute menace to the game of basketball.
Well, they're
You're
mocking
two-time.
is what they're doing. They're mocking.
Yes, and rightfully so, because we get to witness this bullshit all the time while he's playing for Oklahoma City. And the fact that he's a two-time MVP makes it even worse. And I will say this just real quick. I feel like this will be the last time he will be MVP in the league. I'm telling you right now, like the fatigue of this man has gone way through the roof. I don't think we'll ever see it again, especially with the Wembys of the world and Anthony Edwards and some of the other American players that are on the horizon here and foreign born as well. Especially the Luka fans out there, they're really upset about this type of stuff. And just have him play more defense and he'll be fine. But that's besides the point. But with Shea Gilgeous, man, like, bro, your maple syrup having ass. I'm sorry. If you're so weak that you can't accept the fact that what you're doing to actually get MVP has been turned around to be used as a means of making some money for somebody else because it's so unethical, which is actually true. I mean, what do you want us to do, man? I mean, we gotta have some type of fun out of it, so we don't have to cry about seeing you falling all over the ground. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. So please, the law firm, whoever representing Shea Gilgeous, y'all can all come together, huddle up, put some Band-Aids around yourselves, and kiss my grits.
Whew. Okay. Well, I felt that one. Angry Joey, you want to follow that one up?
To top that one, I am left with nothing now. I mean, I think he pretty much summed it up. So yeah, I would double down on what Hater was saying. So no, I've got nothing.
All right, Tony with takes. You got anything? Oh, is he gone already? I think he left. We'll have to cut that
Oh
out.
shit, guys! I was on damn mute.
Oh, I was like,
I was over here going, no, man, I don't got anything this time.
all right. Well, I don't have anything either. So, but before we sign off, we love interaction. I mean, please come interact with us, leave a message, stuff like that. But if you want to know how to do that, Hater can put you on game.
Absolutely. So if you want to hit us up on podcast form, we're available on Apple, Spotify, and Overcast at The 210 Show. If you want to catch us on YouTube, we're at The 210 Show Pod. Please leave a like, leave a thumbs up, hit that notification bell. So once we drop this one, you'll immediately get notified. And please, we're dropping polls as well to get your interactions. Now, I put out a challenge on the last show for the very fans of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. If to talk about your top 10 point guards. Now, given the results that we just seen, I'm pretty sure it would be mighty silent from that side of the aisle, but that's okay. But please, we love to interact with the audience. Please, if you have any thoughts about the recent trades in the NFL, please let us know what you think. If you're an Eagles fan, how do you feel that you don't have A.J. Brown anymore? Or if you're a Cleveland fan, how does it feel to embrace the rebuild? Of course, you haven't came out of a rebuild either, but that's beside the point. So please let us know what you think. And we also have a Discord channel as well. So the link is also in the description of the page. So please join us there too. And we'll love to have you. And also to the 25 subscribers that we have out there, thank you for your attention. Thank you for listening. And please share with a friend. We would love to spread the joy of the 210 Show to everybody around the world. We love the fact that we are worldwide and we want to keep it moving and keep it pushing.
That's
so
right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Worldwide in this piece. All right, everybody. God bless. Take care of each other. We'll catch y'all next time.
Peace. Later.